G'day fellas, and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the north side of the map in the colour blue, playing as the English, it's Divine DFP. And on the south side of the map, playing in the colour green, as the Ottomans, it's Durian King. Yes, that is his name, Durian King. It's a beautiful name. I do like this name. To me, it says a lot of things about this player. He's a little bit of a memer, and I'm a bit of a memer as well. And we've got ourselves an early outpost coming down already from the Durian King. You can see his scout moving across the map. Now, my suspicion that the reason why we're seeing this is very clearly because there is the prospect of men-at-arms. Now, by the time the men-at-arms gets here, the outpost should just be about completed. The thing is, Durian King doesn't know that, but he suspects it, and you can see him right now looking to confirm this. So he's spending some of that early wood on this outpost. He sees the barracks and he says, yep, my intuition was correct. Beautiful play there by Durian King. Really smart move, honestly. I like the way that he's playing this because one of the things to remember is that the outpost here, the way that he's positioned it, is actually going to be really, really solid against any kind of men-at-arms, because typically what would happen is the men-at-arms would be coming in on this angle, and that's going to give you a lot of wiggle room. But the way that the men-at-arms have to approach now is only one direction, and that means over from this side. And the outpost is right here to defend. He uses the town center to cover in from this angle. This is a super smart move because a lot of people would have put the outpost right here and the mining camp here, or the mining camp here, the outpost here. And the problem is that leaves you open from all of these angles for the men-at-arms to run in, and then your villagers have to jump inside the outpost at the last second. Whereas here, if the men-at-arms runs all the way in, well, my friend, you can just press G and you're straight inside. So really smart, big brain move. This single move actually counters the English men-at-arm opening incredibly. Now, it's a little bit of an investment, right? It's 100 wood, but how much wood has your enemy invested? They've invested 150. They've also invested the 100 food, the 20 gold, and of course the delay in what it is they're doing in their build order, whether that be 2 TCs, 3 TCs. The English love to do it. But before we get into that, of course, just a little word from our sponsor. Flash you up on the screen right there. This, of course, is sponsored by Patreon. If you're looking for some coaching content, make sure you check it out. You can find it all over on Patreon. But yeah, Divine going to be opening up with a men-at-arms opening here, which is kind of, I wouldn't necessarily say it's become the standard for the English, but it has become part of their repertoire, right? And there you see, right there, that is exactly it. The men-at-arms can't even get a single hit. This is actually so beautiful, the way that Durian King is playing this. The men-at-arms can't even get a single hit because the Vils just jump straight into the outpost. Right now, you could be saying the same thing when it's on the other angle. The only difference is when it's on the other angle, basically, there's a risk that, okay, let's say the outpost is here. Well, let's say the mining camp is here and the outpost is here. What that means is that you can come in from this angle, like that, and your Vils have to run further. They have to run earlier to get to the safety of the outpost. Whereas in this position, because they've got the coverage of the town center on that top side, it means that there's only one way that he can run in. And it's over here, and that makes it very easy for him to do that. You know, you could see that if the mining camp was here and the outpost was here, it wouldn't work. Or it would work, it would just be a little bit easier for you to get hits on it. So really smart use of the outpost right there from Durian King. So I think now we kind of enter into this sort of phase where we've had the early dance between these two players. Now, where do we go from here? So, of course, Divine's going to be going into a wheelbarrow. Wheelbarrow is a great upgrade, probably one of the best upgrades for the English to get, or I should word that differently. If there's a civilization you want to be getting your wheelbarrow upgrade on, it's the English. And the reason why is because you transition a farm so early as the English, you're going to be doing a lot of walking, because when you put that farm down, you have to walk from that tile that you cut the wheat, and then you're going to have to walk back over to the mill and then drop it back off. It's not like the sheep. If you take a look here, if you're a civilization that's got a lot of sheep, so say as an example, the Mongols or the French, because they normally open double scout, then it's not going to affect you as much because you're not doing a whole lot of walking. You stand up, you sit down, you stand up, you sit down, that's it. So that's why there's a huge, there's a big reason why the English love to get that wheelbarrow nice and early. And we do see the upgrade is almost complete, and the age up going to be coming through soon for Divine. Now, for me, the question is, how many TCs does he go into? In this matchup, well, not just in this matchup, but as the English, I genuinely love 3 TC. I think 3 TC is unstoppable as the English. I've seen a lot of people going for 2 TC. I've even seen people just going fast castle into King's Palace. I'll be honest, I don't like it. I don't like the King's Palace anymore. Even though it got that nice little buff with some extra health, I tell you what, that ain't it, Chief. I'm telling you, this new white tower is amazing. It gives you so much flexibility in your response. Say, as an example, in this matchup, you're playing against the Ottomans, a civilization that is going to be looking to go Castle Age relatively quickly, going to be getting that MIA out, that Mehmet Imperial Armory, and they're going to start putting on that mangonel pressure. Well, guess what? There's no mangonel pressure here for you, because you go white tower, and within 15 seconds, at least I think it's 15 seconds, you've got yourself springled. And there you go. Like, within the blink of an eye, you've made your springled, it's out, and the pressure is gone. So it's such a nice thing to have in your back pocket, just for those rainy days where a mangonel might show up. We do see the stone is now starting to get taken. When it comes to second and third TCs, there's actually some really good spots here. For second town center, I'd be thinking on the stone right here, and then that way you can fit in your mill just right here. You're probably going to have to delete that mining camp. And then third town center, probably want it right here between the food and the gold. And what you're looking to do here with the English is make sure that all your farms are covered by your town center, and then your white tower can go down just at the front of your base over here. But that's pretty much it. So I'm curious to see what Divine looks to play in. He does kind of... I've seen Divine play a couple of times, and he normally goes for like a 2 TC fast castle. So we'll see if that's what he looks to stick to today. Over on the other side of the map, though, obviously the Twin Minaret Madrasa has been completed. And look at this. We've got tier 1 upgrades coming through from every single upgrade or every single economic building. We've got double broad axe coming through. We've got specialized pick coming through. And of course, we've got horticulture is already through. Wheelbarrow is now on the way in, and the blacksmith is up. So he's gone for quadruple economic upgrades together with this outpost. So this outpost, I mean, this one's going on the thumb now because this destroys the English. Honestly, any civilization you're playing, just do exactly what Durian King has done here. And I'm telling you, this is going to give you a guaranteed way to survive against early English aggression. And I think this is such a solid investment of resources as well, because as you saw, he sent out the scout nice and early. He got the confirmation. If he didn't see a barracks, he just cancels it. Super easy. He doesn't have to leave it up there. In fact, he doesn't even have to cancel it. He just doesn't complete it. And then when the men-at-arms don't come, he just goes, oh, well, the men-at-arms didn't come. Cancel. So it makes it really, really nice for him to be able to do that. And it's interesting because other Age of Empires games don't work like that. Like Age of Empires 3, when you cancel a building, you don't get a refund on the wood that you've put into that building. You can cancel it at 50%, but then you lose 50% of the wood that you put into it, which isn't the case in Age of Empires 4. Obviously, it's a little bit different, but we do actually see the first Vizier point coming through. It's going to be Imams, which obviously is going to help support that fast castle that we talked about possibly happening, but when you see this many villas on the gold, it's almost certainly going to be a castle age. Now, the Spahi is going to be moving out, probably just looking for some villager. The thing is, right, like, there's no damage that's going to be done here. At most, you're going to get a little bit of idle time, but realistically, it's going to be very minimal. The alarm goes off for the English. This is kind of like the learner alarm. I do love this from the English, right? When you're playing and you hear that alarm go off, you're like, okay, I'm getting raided. Where is it? It just tells you. It's a nice little alert. No other civ gets that, at least not that I can think of. But we do see the second town center has gone down. He's put it down on the gold. Nice little spot here. It's between the stone and the gold. So definitely nice. Does protect both of them. The issue that you're going to have is that... my question here is... So this is where I was saying I prefer going for 3 TC. By the time that you actually age up, the difference between 2 TC and 3 TC is almost nothing. And the reason why is because you need to do a farm transition. So as you can see at the moment, Divine is transitioning into farms. He's putting his 10th farm down. But the thing is, this is not all the farms that you will see. He will ring the entire farm, or the entire mill. He'll probably make another mill. He could put it up here. This is a nice safe spot. The other spot is over here on the berries. This is a really good spot, actually, because that way it doubles as a berry catcher. And also for the mill. Problem is, he's going to need to throw down a wall on that side because he is quite exposed. There's really nothing out here. I guess you could always throw a wall down over here. But, oh my gosh, look at all these berries. But I guess you're playing English. You don't really care about berries that much. You're only on berries because you don't have deer or don't have sheep. But we do see more vills making their way out. And yeah, so that's the reason why I prefer 3 TC over 2 TC. And basically, it gives you a bit more longevity, right? Like, you're playing up against the Ottomans. They're going fast castle. They're going to have a huge tempo push that's coming towards you. So you need a win condition because the Ottomans will eventually outgrind you on 2 TC. You're just not able to hold. And so I'm curious to see exactly how Divine looks to play this. My suspicion is he moves into Crossbow Spear. Crossbow Spear is one of the better English combos, especially with the change to the Council Hall. This composition is really, really nice to be playing with. But we do see, it looks like we've got Durian King looking to start taking some stone. And we hear those first... Oh, this is interesting. I haven't seen this before. Instead of opting for the relics, he's opting for sacred sites. And this is kind of smart, right? Because you're getting a 2-for-1 out here. Your sacred sites are going to start ticking immediately, meaning you're getting that gold going in your back pocket immediately. But also, you're going to be close to picking up relics. We can see one relic right here, other relic out here over on this east side. And then he's going to be able to bring those home. So you're kind of getting like your rewards much sooner than what you normally would, because you're limited to 2 imams. The other thing is you don't have a monastery to drop down these relics just yet. So you're going to have to drop that down, and that costs resources, obviously, which we don't have because we're investing in units. Triple stable, though. That's a lot of stables. That's more stables than I expected. We'll switch it over from the villager count over to the income per minute count, because it's going to start to rise quickly, and we already start to see lumber preservation coming through. White Tower will get thrown down for Divine on the other side of the map, and we do see that. So he did opt to go with the berry mill. That is very nice, and of course throws down the White Tower. Lots of villagers here. Always when you're throwing down the White Tower, you want to get it up as quickly as possible. One of the best landmarks in the game at the moment. Honestly, I would be giving this landmark an S tier at the moment. Probably even close to S+ tier. That extra 100% they gave it, I know it seems crazy. It's so good, dude. It's so good. Honestly, I reckon you could probably even like bring that back down to 50% and people would still be making this White Tower. It's such a great landmark. I love it. So now he's going to have the equivalent of, 4 archery ranges or 3 barracks. And let's see what he goes into. It's going to be crossbows, which is definitely the right call here. Crossbows together with spears are going to be a really solid opening here. And with the White Tower, he can very easily flex into siege if he needs it. If your enemy's making mass archers against your crossbow spear, then you can just drop a mangonel, that kind of thing. But we do see the MIA was coming out here from Durian King, so it does mean that there is going to be that siege pressure eventually coming through for our Ottoman players. So no real surprises there. And he's slowly taking stone, so that's going to be your military schools coming in. Interestingly, didn't go for a military school. We didn't point that out earlier. But against the English, military schools don't really make a whole lot of sense, just because their villages have got defensive bows. And on top of that, they also go for the council hall. So with the council hall, you're gonna have access to 2 archery ranges for the price of nothing. So that's really what makes the difference there. But we do see now more relics starting to get picked up. He's already got 2 in the bag. I'm curious as to whether this imam... Actually, this imam didn't go for the east side relic. Has he spotted this one out? Oh, he hasn't spotted it out just yet. It's right outside the vision range. Oh, that's unfortunate for him. Knights coming around, looking to try and find some villagers. Not going to be able to find too much. Remember that from the English perspective, you're going to get that warning. Here it comes. There's the warning sign. Everybody get inside the town center. Now the Knight's going to be looking to follow it up, but Divine going to be able to pull it in. Might be losing 1 vill here. So the first vill of the game does go down, and Crossbow's going to be moving out to cover right now. On the south side, relics are getting picked up. Almost a little bit of a waste of Imam positioning here, but I guess he doesn't know about that 5th relic just yet. So might want to be starting to get out there, but I tell you what, 3 sacred sites and 3 relics at 12 minutes. That's a formidable amount of gold that's going to be coming through for him. And on the front of the base now for Divine, it looks like it is going to be barracks that are dropped down. So he's going to be moving into men-at-arms. Interesting decision to go into men-at-arms against the Knights. But I guess the fact that he's got crossbows on the back is going to help him. The one thing I'd love to see from Divine are a few more walls around this point. So we can see he did actually go for this wall on the west side. But these Knights have already come in once now. And so you've got to respect that. So at this point, I'm like, you know what? Throw up a wall here. You could probably throw one up across there. But it's probably just safer. And thank you, Divine. Thank you, Divine. Beautiful stuff, mate. Exactly what we wanted to see. Your wall's the front as well. There's a big wall coming in from Divine at the front. Definitely could have gone for this one here, but obviously just wants to keep it back. Oh, hold on a minute. No, that's fine. This is a classic Lipany spawn. We often joke about Lipany being an open map, quote unquote, but I mean, when you see the fact that you can shut down one entire side of the map with what is this, like a 70 wood wall? Another 70 wood wall, and now you've got like another 70 wood wall. You get my point, right? Like, this is not an open map. This is a closed map. It is just, man, it gets me. It gets me in the sweet spots. Let's just say that. 2 vills going to be going down here. A couple of spears going to be looking to collect. Remember, those crossbows were over on the east side, anticipating that those Knights would come back around, but they actually swept around to the opposite side. Look to come through the front door. Crossbow's going to be able to clean these guys up in one foul swoop. Good night, sweet prince. And now just a couple of men-at-arms and spears looking to try and close the gap, but of course, these Knights going to be heading out the way that they came through. Let's ride on board over with Durian King and see how he's doing as he begins to fortify outposts in the center of the map. When it comes to his relics, he's got 3 in total. Yet to find that 4th one in the eastern corner, yet to grab the 5th one. That we do see he is rallied towards. It's just to the center of the map. And those Knight numbers starting to look really fearsome. Look how many Knights that we're talking about here. Up to 14 Knights, 15 Knights. That is a crazy amount of Knights. Where is he getting this food from? He's got 1 farm. He's still on sheep. And he's got he's got one villager on the twin minaret addresser. Excuse me, where are you getting all of these where are you getting all these knights from? This is crazy, the amount of, I mean, because this is a lot of food that's coming in right now. He's got 850 food a minute. Is he on a boar somewhere? He can't be. He's the Rus. The Rus. He can't be. He's the Rus. He can't be. He's the Ottomans. Triple mangonel as well. Where are the? Has it really been that long that he's been aged up? I guess that makes sense actually. Yeah, 9 minutes. So he aged up at 9 minutes, and by 15 minutes he's got triple mangonel. The problem is your enemy's only got one springald, and the single springald's going to be great against a single mangonel. But when you see a single, double, or triple mangonel, you're going to have to start reacting a little bit differently. And now we do see Divine going to be going for an outpost on the front. Looks doubtful that it's going to get up. And look how many knights there are here. This is huge. Gosh, he needs more spears as soon as possible. I hope he's got more in queue right now, but it looks like he does. A mangonel shot hits the back line. It's a beautiful shot. Looks to hit about, geez, 14 crossbows right there, getting eaten alive. The crossbows having a tough time, and it looks like Divine may have pushed out a little bit early. Still got 7 minutes left on that sacred site timer, so I'd be tempted just to head back, do a little bit of a stock assessment, see exactly where you're at, get some more crossbows, get some more spears, and of course get some more springalds. And I think that's definitely going to be a huge help to him here. The problem that he's going to have is whether his enemy looks to push him or not. Obviously, as long as the timer keeps ticking, then the game is looking better for Jurian King. But this is where we come back to that whole idea of 2 TCs versus 3 TCs. You're on 69 vils at the moment, which is nice for Divine, but at 69 vils, and a little bit of a curious decision right here from Divine. That you've got to be so careful. Look at that. So it might just be the case that for Divine to challenge this Eastern Sacred Site, he just has to chop through. He knows that it's not that far, but oh gosh, chopping through is always so dangerous. You never know if you're going to get caught by a mangonel on the top rope. Springald emplacement coming through. Going to be looking to defend this position. He's always got vils that he can pull. Just got to be careful that AoE does sometimes hit the backside. Spear, crossbow number starting to look a little bit better for Divine. Second Springald also joining the party. Remember, more and more Springalds can be created at will. And that, oh, you see how much health those villagers just took. Might even, oh gosh, he took that much damage and he's got his textiles. I was about to suggest, I'm like, hey man, you got to get your textiles in. Bro, he's already got him in. Nice little walls coming up over on this west side as well. I like how he's got the single outpost just to defend, just in case. And now Jurian King holds on a little bit longer. I mean, this is a bit of an interesting strategy from Jurian King. I don't think I expected this coming out of the gates. Seeing Ottoman players go for a sacred site victory is rare. I would say that much, but against the English, it does make sense. We talked earlier about that second TC versus third TC. This is the point where the third TC is really starting to pay off. Instead of being on that 77 vil number, you're probably closer to about, well, how long's it been? You probably had that TC for 10 minutes. So 10 times 3, so you're up 30 vils from where you are now. So you'd be at 110 vils, so double the villager count from your enemy. You'd be in a really happy spot, and your production would be going ham. So that's the difference that it can make. At least I think my maths is right. Yeah, my math is right. Yeah, 3 villagers a minute, 10 minutes, 30 vils. So that third TC would have well and truly paid off by now. I think the question would have been how much damage that knight did, because he obviously got a knight in there pretty quick. Jurian King did, but we start to see more Springalds coming out. This is really nice to see, but the knight numbers just continue to increase. And I think what's kind of wild, right? There's no other units in here. There's knights, there's imams, there's metas, there's mangoes, there's 2 archers, and 2 spears. That's it. And everything else in here, whoa, Divine, what are you doing? Divine, you gotta be leading with your Springalds. Divine losing all of his, a huge chunk of his army right there. Bit of a mistake. I'm not sure what the intent was. And now those knights are just gonna have an absolute field day because the mangonels managed to soften them up. Knights managed to come on back through. He doesn't have many forces here to protect. Man-at-Arms gonna be coming out as well from Divine. He's gonna have to retreat just because of the lack of line of sight in this position. Needs to try and take this sacred site. 4 minutes left to go. The trebuchet comes out. That's gonna at least help out against the outpost, but the knight number still looking incredibly solid here from Jurian King. I tell you what, they say he's the king of the fruit, but I tell you, he's looking like he might be the king of the cavalry this game. He is just absolutely all over it. Trebuchet going to be going down, and crossbow numbers are back to where they started. Well, they don't start at 10, but it's pretty close to where they started. Let's just put it that way. It's not where you want to be at this point in the game. And now you've got a real problem. Your enemy has got wonderful position out here. You don't have any trebuchet to deal with the outpost on the sacred site. Fortunately, it's not a keep, but this is the only real sacred site that you can challenge. So there's a couple of options that open up for you at this point. Number one for me is a chop through. I think a chop through would really work well, but the question is whether you can actually put enough IQ, not IQ points, but like APM points, or, you know, when you're in this situation, right, and your enemy has got 3 minutes until sacred defeat, it can be hard for you to recognize what you need to do in that time, or what your options are, right? Because you kind of tunnel vision on this central sacred site. You're like, I can't go this one's way too closed off. And yeah, you're right, but you might be able to sneak a unit through on that and at least get the sacred site pause or something like that. You get enough spears on this sacred site and you'll be able to hold. That's not an issue. And then at least you stay alive in the game a little bit longer, and you're playing the English, which is what you want to be playing when it goes to the late game. So that is definitely the way I'd be thinking. Oh, the other option that you've got is down over on the west side. You can always sneak a couple of spears down here. So look to try and put down, you know, 14, 15 spears, and there will be knights on the way eventually. And see, with this keep going down, it just looks less and less likely that this sacred site will get taken by Divine. So Ottoman's coming out with a beautiful strat, and we now start to see more archers going to be getting created here by Durian King. Slowly but steadily, the push comes in, but the unit numbers aren't looking the happiest for Divine here. You'd really like, I'd love to see like double, even triple the amount of units he's got at the moment. And the trades just haven't been the best for him, the most favorable. The Mangonel's been softening up so much of these units. And now the archers on the backside. This might be a good game right here. I don't think there's any way that he's going to be able to hold this. It looks like a final push, a final stance. Manages to take out the Mangonels, but it's not going to matter. It is good game indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, go check out Divine. I'll leave a link in the description to where you can watch him live. He streams over on Twitch. And of course, if you're interested in coaching, make sure you go and check out some Patreon. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And of course, we'll catch you in the next one.